I feel like all of those things that had built me up to feel like I had to, in a sense, protect myself and protect my heart, I realized I didn't have to do that with you. And so I had to change that completely because it was a defense mechanism. But once I realized, like, I'm not defending myself against this man. Like, he genuinely loves me. Right. He's there for me. He's shown that. He supports me. He encourages me. I don't have to defend myself from him. I can disarm myself. Right. Once I was able to do that and change that version of myself and really improve and work on a better version of myself and who I feel like was destined to be, a lot changed. What's up, real ones? Welcome back to the Relationship Podcast, where we're bringing the real back to relationships.
Yes, sir.
I'm Asha Steele.
I'm Devon Steele.
And we're so excited that you guys are tuning in today with us.
Yeah, because we're excited for this episode today. As many of you know, we just celebrated our 8th year wedding anniversary. Go ahead and clap it up for that. Yeah. So what we wanted to do is just use this episode to go down memory lane and talk about some of the things that we learned along our journey. And hopefully some of you can learn and utilize some of this information in your current marriage, or if you're preparing for marriage, or, you know, whatever the case may be. We just wanted to go down memory lane.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that. But before we get into it, let's keep it real for a second, okay? Because I need to keep it real with y'all.
What you want to keep it real about?
So we're going to get into the anniversary and everything we did and how we got there and all this good stuff. But last week, you guys, was Devon's last week of school, right? Yeah. So let's clap it up for that as well.
I think we can clap it up for that.
We can definitely clap it up because I'm very proud of you and have a little moment just to say that how proud I am of you of finishing school. This man right here, he went to school a lot.
I'm done.
Okay?
I'm done. I promise you, I'm done.
Listen, everybody's like, oh, you going for your PhD now? They've been asking me that. I don't know why they're asking me. They should be asking you. But
matter of fact, I would never say never. I mean, I don't know where my journey is going to take me. But for right now, I feel like I'm armed with the tools I need in order to do what me and you set out to do. So yes. I'm done with school.
Yes. But I'm very proud of you for going back to school and accomplishing all that you have accomplished in the past few years. So yeah. I just wanted to, touch on that. But like I was saying, okay, last week we went back to our hometown, Delaware, Philadelphia area, to celebrate our anniversary, okay? Yeah. And to also celebrate you graduating. My keeping it real moment is, okay, we had to travel with Arya and Amaya, okay, y'all? Mm-hmm. And it was a struggle.
That's why we don't go nowhere now.
Okay? That is the reason. We unlocked the reason as to why we have not been on vacation.
Yeah.
It's because traveling with a toddler and a preschooler is insane.
It's a lot. But if you look at people online, on social media, on Instagram, it looks so simple. Like,
everything looks so simple.
Drop Amazon in the comments and I'll send you the link to get this thing, because your kids do not talk when they act like they're floating in their seats. I'm like, it's not that simple. It's not that simple.
It was not that simple. And you know I think what was challenging was when we first flew with Arya, when she was a baby, Arya would just go to sleep, right? Mm-hmm. I would just nurse her and she would sleep the whole
out that boob.
Flight. Yes, and it would be no problem. People be on the plane talking about, I didn't even know it was a baby on the plane. Right. Okay, because she was knocked out. She was good, okay? Yeah. Amaya, the first time we traveled with her when she was little, I think it was last year, she was a couple months, right? It was the same thing. I nursed her. She went to sleep. We was good. We didn't have to worry too much, okay? Right. Amaya is not that baby that you can just put on I don't even think she wanted to drink no milk on this flight, okay? She wanted to be up. She wanted to be looking out the window. She wanted to be getting snacks. Pressing a button so she can get snacks or something, y'all. Like, she was active. And, Arya, she's active too. She's a little bit more chill, but if she
you
getting
give her
bored,
the phone or turn on the iPad and let her watch a movie or something, and let her play with her toys. She'll be chill.
Right. But if she getting bored, she starts to be like, all right, this enough it is. But I think what was really the big deal was Amaya was just like, ready to go.
Yeah.
So when Arya did have her toys, it was like, I want those toys. She trying to grab it. I want the Play-Doh, this, that, and the third. So it was hectic. I just knew I was about to sleep on this flight. We was going to be good. No, y'all. So for all y'all out there, like Devin said, making it seem like Amazon got all the answers.
All the hacks
to
to
the
traveling
problems,
with your
okay?
toddlers.
Y'all lying. I need y'all to be real and give me a solution. Seriously.
The worst part about it, I would say, with this trip was Asha making me take Maya to the bathroom because she pooped on the plane.
Listen.
Now listen, Asha was so tired. She was so over everything that was going on. She was about to make everybody on that plane suffer from the smell of Amaya's diaper that day. She whipped out the bag, whipped out the little changing pad. It was about to change her right then and there in the seat. And I'm like, yo, what you doing? She like, I'm not taking her to the bathroom. I'm like, but you can't change it right here. And she said, I'm not taking her to the bathroom. You can take her. And I'm like, Asha, I'm 6'5", 290 pounds. I use the bathroom before I get on planes because I can't fit in the bathroom. It's just, it wasn't made for me. They didn't think about people my size when they made planes or bathrooms on the plane. But Asha was serious. She wasn't going to the bathroom. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll take her. It was the craziest experience I ever had in my life. We got the job done, but it did not come without its challenges.
Oh my goodness. It was a struggle, y'all. But to be fair, I just came from taking Arya to the bathroom, right? Mm-hmm. And then Amaya was tripping when I got back to see. As I heard from you, she was tripping. You said she was.
She was just calling for you. She was like, Mom, Mom. And everybody on the plane looking like, where is this baby's mom?
But no, she was having her moments. So I was just like, I can't do it. They just gonna have to deal with it. But we got through it, y'all. I just need y'all to really just, if it's as easy as y'all make it seem like it is,
it ain't.
Let us know.
It ain't.
Okay? But moving right along, let's get into this message from a real one.
It says, I've known my boyfriend for 15 years. We dated a bit in high school, but it never really worked out until we reconnected at 24. We've been together for 3 years now. In June, I found out I was pregnant, but in August, I discovered he had cheated on me with a coworker. The affair lasted about 2 weeks before I caught on. I also had a miscarriage, and I found out about his cheating just 2 days after. I was completely devastated. He told me he cheated because he was unhappy with himself and stressed out about his new job in law enforcement. He felt he couldn't talk to me about his stress because, quote unquote, that's not something a man does, and he didn't want me to see him as weak. He had begged me for years to have a baby with him, so I was caught off guard when he cheated. His parents had a toxic relationship with his dad constantly cheating on his mom, and he always told himself he'd never do that. Now he wants to brush everything off and move on without talking about it, but I feel we need to address it to see if we can truly move on. He says he wants to be a better man and prove it to me, but I'm torn. I wonder if he truly cares since my pregnancy didn't stop him from cheating. He says the baby was the only thing keeping him going, but I don't know what to believe anymore. I know every situation is different, but I want to know what your advice would be. If he truly wants to change and be a better man, do you think it's worth trying to fix and heal from this? I appreciate you taking the time to read this, and I hope to hear back from you.
Wow. That's a lot to get into. But before I just address a few things, I just want to say that I am sorry for your experience of losing a baby because I know how that feels. And I know that going through that and then having to go through the challenges of your relationship and cheating, you probably feel very overwhelmed and in a whirlwind. It's a lot emotionally. It's a lot mentally. And it also can take a toll on you physically. So I'm just praying that she's able to really heal through that process.
Yeah.
In order for her to be in the best space for herself.
Yeah.
Because it takes a huge toll on you.
Even when you just said that, you think about she suffered 2 losses.
Yeah.
She suffered the loss of their child together, and she suffered the loss of who he was in her eyes.
Yeah. So it's definitely hard. And even being in this position where she is questioning if she should move forward, I think that her just being in the space where she feels healed from the loss of their child and how it may have impacted her should be a huge priority right now. Because, a lot of times we do focus on our partner because, they're here in the physical. We want that love. We want that affection. We want things to work, right? And we don't really necessarily address underlying things that could be affecting us or affecting our decision. So I just want to really focus on that because, like I said, I've been there. So I know that even when you try to wake up every day and put a smile on your face and push forward, sometimes you suppress those feelings that you have and think that, I have to just keep going. I have to figure this out because you can't do anything else about it. But being able to really heal and process all of those things is very important for her. So I'm praying that she's able to do that throughout this process of her trying to figure out where she wants to go with her relationship and what she wants to do. But to touch on her question of should she give him the chance to, if he wants to make it work, should she allow him the opportunity to make it work? I feel like we discussed this before, but I feel like it really comes down to the discussion of what does that change look like, right? Because just to say, I want to make it work, I'm going to change, I know what I did, it's not really enough. We have to have a clear solution and understanding of what that looks like in order for us to actually progress and move forward. So I think it starts off with them having a discussion about everything that transpired, including, like I said, the loss of their child. How did that impact them as well? How did the job situation impact them? How did everything impact the situation, right? Unfold all of that. And then at that point, let's sit down and have a discussion of, since we know things that could have triggered it, how do we avoid going to that position again?
Yeah.
What does that look like for you to be open with me and vulnerable with me to say, okay, I'm your partner. I'm here in those moments that you feel like you can't talk to nobody else, Because if you don't have that, unfortunately, history can repeat itself if you don't correct certain errors. So I think having that conversation to have a clear understanding of what it looks like for them to move forward, what she needs from him in order for them to move forward as far as building that trust back up is important. To not have the blurred lines, but have a clear understanding of all of that is the first start of moving forward to see if they can work.
Yeah. I think I'm going to take a different approach than you. And I don't want to be insensitive at all if it comes off that way, but I just want to, speak authentically. One of the things that I try to do in every situation that I go through is find the blessing in the storm. Right? The one blessing that I see out of this very traumatic event that she's going through is now she can make a clear decision without any pressure. Because y'all are not married.
Right.
Y'all don't have a child together. These are some of the reasons why people may stay in a relationship that they no longer belong into, because there are other things that are tying them to this. But now that you have nothing tying you to this person, you can step away, get your thoughts together, and make a clear decision on how you want to move forward. Yeah. We can't answer that question if it's worth you moving forward or not. That's a decision that you have to make. And one of the issues that people have when they make these decisions is they focus on the sunken costs. They think about all they have already poured into the relationship, and they don't want to walk away and not get a reward for the work or the energy that they put in. But it doesn't matter what you put in the past. What really matters is what you're going to have to put in moving forward. And from this message, it doesn't seem like he's ready to do the work. It's one thing to talk about it. It's one thing to show it. If you think that you can just push this under the rug and move forward because you don't want to be held accountable for your actions because it makes you feel uncomfortable that she's addressing you for the hurt and the pain that you caused her. What kind of man is that you want to have in your life? You do something wrong, you got to deal with the consequences of your action. And one of those things is allowing your woman or your man to sit there and tell you about yourself.
Yeah.
And you're already running from that. That's a problem. Number 2, cheating on your woman while she's carrying your child, to me, is one of the most disrespectful things that you can do. Not only to your woman, but to your child. Because who knows what you would bring home to them if y'all are still sexually active. What you could do to your child. What you could do to your woman. So this comes off as being a very selfish person in my eyes. And I get you grew up in a traumatic environment and you watched this, that, and I don't know how old you are, but at a certain point, you can't keep using this as an excuse. You know what you saw growing up. You know how it impacted you. What have you done to correct it? Did you go seek help and guidance before your wife or your girlfriend caught you cheating? Or did you decide to go seek the help and the guidance because you didn't want to be the man that you were anymore?
Yeah.
You already tried to create a broken home before the child was even here. And now you're just trying to say, man, don't listen. What I did is what I did. It's in the past. Let's just move forward. I don't even want to talk about it. To me, that's crazy. So I think that these are all the things that you have to take into consideration as you're making this decision. Is number 1, listen, I don't have nothing tying me to this man anymore. So let me reflect on how you treated me, how you made me feel over all these years. And if I feel like I wasn't being treated the way that I deserve to be treated, I have to walk. Yes, it's going to be hard, but it's going to be harder if you remain in a relationship and you lower your standards or you allow yourself to be treated in such a way just because you had put this time and energy into the relationship thus far.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's a decision that you have to make. I think that this relationship can be saved if both parties want to put in the work, but I'm not seeing him wanting to put in the work. Even from her saying that he says the baby was the only thing keeping him going, but I don't know what to believe anymore. What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
The baby was the only thing keeping him going. What, in the relationship, in life in general? Like, what are we talking about right now?
Yeah.
Because now what it seems that he wants you to deal or to take on all the trauma and stuff that he's been through with his upbringing and his job. But it's like, what about you? Because oftentimes I think women cover us as men. They're our blanket. They're supposed to be around as we try to mature. But how often are we doing that for women? So this seems like it's going through another cycle, whereas I should be allowed to treat you like dirt until I figure my life out or deal with my trauma. And I don't think that's right.
Yeah. I think it honestly comes down to just taking some time apart to reflect and to really see, like I was saying, what needs to be done and if it can be done to make things work, right? If whether you're married or married and thinking about getting a divorce or just in a relationship, the separation phase is for you to have a better understanding of, can we do something to correct the wrongs? This time that we're apart, is it making us want to grow closer together or is it making us turn away from each other? Do we set clear understandings and boundaries and expectations so that when we do come back together, we have a clear understanding of how to move forward? Or are we just out here just thinking like, oh, hey, I'm going to just do what I do because, it's a break? I think that will allow one for her to have the time to herself, which I think is, like I was saying, very important for her mentally and emotionally to just process everything that she went through without the pressure of having to wonder, do I want to make this relationship work? What's going on with us? Just to really focus on her mental health and her well-being. So I think she should have that time, and he should allow that time for her to have that. And moving forward, like I said, if there's things that's done within that time frame that can allow for them to come back together, like you said, that's their decision, that's her decision. But if not, then now I understand that, one, this time apart showed me that I can move forward and not feel like I have to be with this person based off of our history, based off of, like you were saying, oh, I put so much into it, I have to get something out of it. It showed me that I can very much move on and move forward with my life and pick up the pieces and be great and thrive, you know? Yeah. So I think really just take that time to focus on what it is, prioritize yourself and focus on what it is that you really seek and want for your future, and then go from there. Yeah.
To me, I before we move on, I just think that it's important to put a challenge out there to everybody that's listening, everybody that's in a relationship. Stop with all the excuses. Mm-hmm. Become a better version of yourself, or don't be in a relationship.
Yes.
Because we are hurting people that don't deserve to be hurt because we was hurt in the past. That is a problem. Mm-hmm. The time to do self-reflection is not when you get caught doing something you shouldn't do in the relationship. The time is to do it before you get in a relationship, or while you're in the relationship, to avoid stepping outside of your relationship.
Right.
Nobody wants to hear all the excuses once you get caught.
That is true.
Saying that you didn't want her to see you as weak, being a man and not being able to control your impulses, is the weakest type of man that you can be. Being a man and not having self-control is the weakest man that you can be. Not the fact that you struggle sometimes, not the fact that you have bad days sometimes, not the fact that you feel like you have the pressure of the world on you and you don't know how you're going to deal with it. That's not weak. That's life. That's things that we have to deal with as men. And no, it's not easy, but that does not give you a right to disrespect your lady.
Yeah. I agree.
And I'm not trying to come at him, but I think that we're getting to a point where there's this narrative being pushed all over the place that relationships can't work, that marriages can't work. But it's actually the people who are not willing to do the work. And until we stop making excuses for everybody, until we stop making excuses for ourselves, and we make the decision that I'm going to change today moving forward so that other people are not impacted negatively by my decisions, then nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
We talk about it on this podcast all the time. I'm open. We're transparent about the challenges that we're faced. I'm transparent about the growth that I experience as a man, because I don't want to come off as perfect. But I want other men to see what is possible when you really make the decision to put your family first. I be feeling like I have the pressure of the world on me, but I come to you every time I feel that way. Mm-hmm. So that nobody else can bring me peace. I get peace from you. You're the only person I want peace from. If we're going through something in our relationship, I'm not talking to another woman and getting peace from that. No, I'm going to fix it with my wife. People are not dealing with conflict in their relationships. People are not dealing with their internal conflict. And it's causing them to make some decisions that they're not willing to live with the consequences of.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't know. We all, not just to come at other, but we all got to do better, man. We all got to make that decision to prioritize this type of stuff, or nothing's going to change.
Yeah. So, moving into today's topic, you guys.
It's hard to make that transition. I want to see how you make that transition from talking about something so heavy to something so positive.
Listen, because we have went through the storm and we've arrived at this beautiful sunny day, okay?
Yeah.
And I just want to say, first and foremost, okay, 8 years is a huge milestone.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people, well, research shows that, you know, the 7-year mark is like a struggle year for a lot of people, where divorce comes up, separation comes up, right? And we were discussing that because both of our, you know, parents were married and they divorced. So just getting to year 8, which is considered the bronze year, which is the year when you're thinking of the tradition of marriage, a year that's supposed to symbolize the strength and durability of your marriage.
Yeah.
Overcoming all those years, overcoming that, you know, the years of what they deem as like the 7th year, the year that you have the struggle, or the years that you're going through, you know, a lot of trials and tribulations. We've arrived. And we were having a discussion as well, just leading up to our anniversary, where I was saying, like, I really feel like that, like we've arrived, you know, at like when you get on a plane, you arrive at your destination. Like, we're here because we've experienced a lot within the first few years of our marriage, right? And we worked through it. We were able to really work on our marriage, really use the tools and resources that we went out and tried to seek to help better understand how to make our marriage thrive. And we did that. So coming up on year 8 when we were, it was just like, okay, this feels great.
Yeah.
This feels
really
good. Yeah. And so before we get into discussing, like we said, just how things, some tips and things that we experienced that could possibly help you guys if you're in a marriage, or even if you're looking to be married. I just want to kind of go through, like you said, the memory lane of that day, our wedding day, because first and foremost, my husband, he gave me, one of his gifts he gave me, you guys, was this beautiful book, okay? It says The Best Day Ever. And it's so cute because I was talking to you and I was like just playing back some of the details of our wedding. And when you gave me this, I was so shocked because it's like, I don't have to think too hard.
No.
It's right here. I don't know if y'all can see this, but how beautiful is this? Like, I was just in awe when you gave me this, because like I said, thinking back on that day, it was literally the best day ever. Like, it was a fairy tale dream wedding that I had no idea that I was dreaming of, okay? Because I never was like, oh, when I get married, I'm going to have this and I'm going to have that. So living out literally a dream wedding, it felt like a Cinderella story. Like, I felt like a princess coming into a queen, you know?
Yeah.
It was that moment for me. I don't know how you felt.
Before I tell you what was the most memorable moment for you of that day?
The most memorable.
Or what was it like waking up to know that, okay, this day is finally here? Because we spent so much time planning. Like, this was an elaborate wedding. Like, we had to pick out the venue. We ended up choosing the New York Public Library. I didn't know the significance of the public library, and then you told me, and then other people told me, I think, about Sex in the City and somebody getting married there. But then we went to, New York Fashion Week. You went to Kleinfeld to pick out the dresses, like
which that was top tier on my list. Like I said, I didn't have
what was that on? Save the Dress.
Say Yes to the Dress. So if you watch that show,
I was about to say Save the Last Dance.
If you watch that, so that was like a dream for a lot of women. Like, if I go get my dress, I want to go to I can't even talk. I want to go to Kleinfeld. I want to have that experience of picking out they have so many dresses, right? So you wanted to have that experience. So that for sure was huge for me.
I'm Lisa. Welcome. I'm so happy to meet you. I'm Lisa. Nice to meet you. Welcome. Are you excited to be here at Kleinfeld?
Very excited.
I have some amazing, amazing dresses to show you. Okay, come with me.
Okay.
All right, get ready for this blinged out dress. So, this dress is by Justin Alexander. This has some major bling and some pearls. So elegant, so sophisticated, fabulous movement in the skirt with the horsehair, the layers, and I love what they do here. You have a sweetheart neckline, but you have this little peekaboo. So it's kind of sexy, but yet demure. Look at the buttons down the back. This is super, look at how it looks on your body. This dress is by Allure Couture. This is very beaded and pearls. This bottom is different than the other bottom in that it's more layers and texture, very modern, very fun, whimsical, not so perfect on the bottom. This is a little more loose. Also, what I love is the clean neckline here. Sweetheart neckline, nothing interrupting, and very, very regal beading. And another thing I love about this dress are the appliques that go dripping into the skirt. It's kind of like an organic look. So, Asha, what do you think about this dress?
I love it. I love the top. This is definitely me, all the beading. I love how like the bottom, like you said, it flows into the skirt, so it's really natural and flowy. And the color is gorgeous. It matches like perfectly with my skin tone. It's definitely a gorgeous color.
This one is by Panina Tournay. It's bling, but it's scattered, it's Swarovski. Amazing, different kind of lace. Has this beautiful vertical lace that we liked on the other one, but this comes down a little more. Has drama on the skirt, tulle, without having layers. And I just love, and you tell me what you guys think, this V, deep V, which looks so beautiful on her chest, with this little cap sleeve. Wow.
Just all those moments leading up to our wedding day was so special. And I feel like because it was like go, 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 and it was so much that was going on, we talked about it. I didn't really get to like live in those moments.
Right.
But looking back, it was just like, wow, like this is once in a lifetime experiences that's out of this world. Like we were living in Jersey at the time. So it was like, okay, we going back and forth of this turnpike to New York every day. You get like, dang, I gotta sit in traffic. I gotta go here. And you don't even realize the crazy thing is just like, even in the complaining of just that, how much of a blessing it is that you are receiving or have the opportunity to do that, right? And that's what I said by not being able to really live in the moment, because going to bridal fashion week in New York, sitting down with the designers, like us having one-on-one conversations, it was like a competition in a sense, like, oh, are you going to pick this designer? Are you going to pick that designer? And I'm like, what? Like, excuse me? Like, it was all
for me?
Right. It was so crazy. It was out of this world. And it was such an amazing experience. Like you said, picking out our cake, having this amazing cake, going to the cake tasting. You think like you just, let's just go into the bakery and just, vanilla, chocolate, figure it out, and then we're done. But like everything was an experience.
How did the cake taste? Oh, that's right. We don't know because we didn't get to enjoy it. Everybody else did. Listen to me.
But
that's why I want to say
taste
something to y'all out there. Make sure y'all enjoy y'all wedding.
Oh my goodness.
Because everybody who's attending is going to enjoy it. And sometimes you just get caught up in a whirlwind of things that you don't really get to enjoy your wedding day. So 2 things, like Asha just said, appreciate the chaos leading up to it, because it is a blessing that you're able to do this. You're able to experience this with your partner. And I know that it's stressful, but hopefully this is one time ever in your life that you're able to experience something like this.
Yeah.
So you don't want the stress to get in the way of your appreciation. But even like I said on the wedding day, man, like try to soak it all in, because it goes by fast and you'll spend a lot of money to not have that many memories. Everybody else be telling you, yo, your wedding was crazy. And they'll be like, for real?
Right? Was I there? But no, I think just looking back, it was amazing. Like waking up that day in New York City.
At the Andaz. Go ahead and give them a shout out on 5th Avenue.
Hotel. It was a beautiful hotel. beautiful view. Like you said, our venue was the New York Public Library, so it was right across the street. But waking up, it was like I said, I just felt like royalty, okay? Because they pulled out all the stops. So I wake up and I come out my room. We already have hair and makeup there. We have, the food spread there. We have someone. It was someone there just on deck with champagne, mimosas, just here. You turn around, you go to put your cup down. Here go another one. It was just, everything was so well thought out and put together. I didn't have to worry. And I think that's probably what my biggest worry was just like making sure all the, I's was dotted, T's was crossed, everything was in order, but I didn't have to worry about any of that.
Right.
The entire
shout out to
process.
the knot for that.
Yeah, so shout out to them for that, because I didn't listen. I ain't have to break a sweat with nothing.
Right.
But just waking up and then having that full on glam experience where it was everything, attention to detail was immaculate. It was just
it had to be good. You using immaculate.
immaculate. Like, okay, when I say like the ambiance, everything was just immaculate. But no, it really was. And so, like I said, my whole bridal party was there. So we're all getting together, just having a great time, laughing, drinking mimosas, getting our hair and makeup done. It was just like the ideal picture if you would think of the morning of preparing for your wedding, how it'd be. Like, it was just perfect.
Yeah.
From even like just getting dressed, like we had a personal photographer there, a personal stylist getting me dressed. So after I get all, glammed up,
They were
I had
just like maids.
Listen, so I had a bridal stylist. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bridal stylist who would dress me and get me all together. But she had, which I don't know the technical term for them, but I'm gonna just say they were like the bridal entourage, right? The concierge. So they had on these outfits that was kind of like a maid. It just reminds me of literally of Cinderella before she, turned into Cinderella and had her gown and all of that. She had like this little long skirt with the white apron over her. Yeah. And that's how they looked. And it was so cute. It was so cute. And I was just like, who is these people? Like, they get me ready. But they was there to like zip up my dress. You know how like the little things like, oh, zip up my dress, put in a pin right here, do this right there. Just like the littlest things they was there and on point with. And so, like I said, I got into my first of many gowns, okay? Just to take pictures. We go down to the lobby area or whatever, the ballroom area, and we're just having a full-on photo shoot before the wedding, okay? It was just so amazing. And I'm just like I said, all of this for me, like it was crazy. And then from there, going over to the New York Public Library, we literally across the street. So we all walked across the street. So I had a full-on entourage. It was me, the stylist, the bridal entourage, then my entourage, the bridal party. Like, we all just stopped traffic, okay? No cars coming down Fifth Avenue. Right. Backed up for hours.
And that don't happen in New York. It definitely wasn't backed up for hours, but probably 30 seconds. Ma'am.
Probably 30 seconds.
The only thing we could do was 30 seconds. Get across this street.
But no, we definitely was stopping traffic and turning heads, just walking up the stairs. I remember, and if you say what's one of the most memorable moments, I remember that walk, because it literally seemed like it took forever just to walk across the street. But
you felt like your life was over?
No. But just walking across the street and the car stopped and the people on the stairs, traffic, like the people walking, like just every day going to wherever they're going, just stops, looking, paparazzi taking pictures. I'm like, we got paparazzi? Who are they with the wedding or are they really paparazzi? I don't know, but they
done called TMZ on herself.
Okay, I'm up here cheesing and everything for it. It was just so amazing. And just walking up the stairs to the library and all of that, it was like something literally out of a movie.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, this is it.
Right.
This is the day. This is what I waited for.
I don't even want to share my morning because yours just was... what word did you just use?
Immaculate.
Immaculate. Your morning was just immaculate. I don't think I had that experience.
Oh my
goodness. But no, it was... I mean, I think for me it was cool. just waking up that day, I would say my experience was sort of to like the feeling I have in my stomach when I'm getting ready to play a game. Like you prepared all this time for it and now it's here. It's not nerves as if, do I think I'm ready? It's like I'm excited to finally get out there and do what I've been wanting to do.
Yeah.
So waking up that morning, I had that type of feeling in my stomach where it's like the day is finally here, that we've overcame all the trials and tribulations that we have been through over the years, and now we get to express our love in front of the world. Because I think that people think that once you get married, it's this complete shift that happens where the next day you wake up and it's like, oh, I'm married.
Right.
Like this is the best feeling in the world. But for me, the love that I had for you, the commitment that I had for you, it was already extremely powerful before I said I do. And that was the reason I was saying I do. Like me saying I do wasn't me committing myself to you in that moment. It was letting the world know that this is who I'm committing myself to. Right. Because I had already made the decision to commit myself to you. So to get up there and just be able to tell my vows and let people know how I truly feel about you was what I was looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
And just allowing our families to experience that, because, you know, a lot of times, man, this is like the happiest day of your parents and grandparents' lives if they not haters. Like they want to see their children happy. They want to be able to see them, you know, flourishing. And I think that just seeing the smiles on our families' faces was like, it was a good feeling.
Yeah. I think just from that morning, when you talked about our vows,
before we get to the vows, I want you to talk about, because I was looking at the video the other day as I was getting that book done for you. How scared were you walking down those stairs in that library? Because those were a lot of stairs. That was a tight dress and all eyes were on you.
Listen, I got to shout out the mimosa guy, okay? Because he got me prepared, okay? Like I said, they had him there on point, so it kind of took the edge off. Right. But I'm not going to lie, it was very nerve-wracking. For those of you who don't know what it looked like, I'm going to play the video as Asha's talking about this, of how she was walking down the stairs and how big this flight of stairs were. Yeah, so these flight of stairs were. If you see the video or like pictures that I had put up, I had on like a mermaid gown. So it's very tight fitted at the top and like, you know, it flares out at the bottom. So walking and trying to, you know, I don't even know, sashay. That's a word. Down the aisle, it is. I don't know. Down the aisle to just look graceful. It sounds like something that you put on your dress or your suit. But no, to try to look graceful walking down all those stairs was my goal, okay? It's like I wanted to look like, in a sense, I was just floating. Right. Not like I'm just like, you know, it's like trying to wobble down the stairs. Right. So it was definitely a struggle. And I was just like, okay, let me get through this. I remember when I came out the room, because I was in a room, some random room upstairs in the library, and I had got dressed. And everyone was out in the hall. So when I had my, you know, grand reveal, they opened these two French doors and everybody was just in awe, right? Yeah. And so I remember walking from there, walking to the stairs, and the nerves started to kick in. My stomach started to be like bubbling. I'm like, this ain't the time I have to use the bathroom, okay? This is not the time. It's go time. And I remember my dad was standing there and he was just trying to like coach me through it and just talk to me like, you got this, you look beautiful, you're going to do good. And I'm just thinking, if I go down, you go down. If I go down, you going down. So let's not go down. But no, we walked down the stairs and like you said in the video, it was so beautiful. It was literally just like out of a movie scene. Yeah. It was beautiful. The decor was beautiful. Just seeing. She done said beautiful like 5 times. That's how you know it was beautiful. Just standing at the top of the stairs and looking over and seeing the decor, looking over and seeing all our family, looking over and seeing my husband, okay, to be that I'm about to get married to. It was just, it was so picturesque. It was amazing. And in a sense, the nerve just kind of like settled as I walked down the stairs one by one. And I was just like, okay, I got this. I didn't feel overwhelmed or jittery. It literally was like once I took that first step, everything was just like, I was good.
Yeah. You know how I know that that the nerves weren't overtaking you?
What?
Because you killed your vows.
I did.
You're not a public speaker.
I'm not.
You get shy, you get nervous speaking in front of a lot of people, but you could tell that you was up there with a purpose.
Yeah.
That although we had all those people in the room, some people that, we didn't invite, they just snuck their way in there. That when we were at the altar, it was just me and you. Yeah. It's like you didn't see everybody else.
You know what's crazy about that is I hadn't spoken public since my high school Spanish class, okay? Because I remember the day that I did, my mouth was literally shaking and nothing was coming out, okay? Right. That's how petrified I was. So I was...
How old were you?
I don't know. I was in like 11th grade maybe.
11th
so
grade.
Like 16.
Oh, that's crazy.
Right. Crazy. So I was so terrified at the thought of having to, write my vows, being vulnerable and just like expressing my love
there was
and my heart.
ChatGPT then, huh?
Okay. But expressing my love and everything for you in front of, although it was our family and friends, in front of everybody, right? And so I was like, even writing our vows beforehand, I was just like, dang, this is kind of deep.
How long it took
How
you?
I'm going to say it? I don't even know. It took me a while, honestly, but I don't know how long. It was like I would start it and then I would stop. Not just like I got distracted, but I just wanted to make sure that it was right. Mm-hmm. So it definitely took me a while, but like you said, I knew at that moment that the nerves was completely gone because like I said, I walked down the aisle. I didn't feel jittery. I didn't feel none of that. And then once I started to speak, it just came out. Yeah. Like it was not like I had to think about it. I didn't feel like I was shaking, nothing. It was like nobody was in the room looking at us. Yeah. It was just me looking at you and just professing my love to you. Yeah. And I felt great about that.
You was in the zone because normally like when people are not comfortable speaking, and they write down their vows, they're here the whole time, just reading off the piece of paper. But even when I was looking at the video the other day, it's like you will look down at the paper and then you will look into my soul.
Oh my goodness. Not your soul.
No, seriously. It's not even like you were looking at my face. You were looking in my soul. Like you was like, I'm ready for this. Yeah. That's how I felt in that moment. And then rewatching the video, it showed me what I felt in that moment, that you were serious about what you were saying.
Yeah, man. Because like I said, when I was writing it, I was trying to be real. I was trying to be vulnerable. Like I was trying to have like, if this was my Oscar speech, this is it, okay?
Oscar, that's for acting. I hope you weren't acting. I hope this wasn't all for play.
Listen, my Oscar speech, okay? The Oscar speech is real. It's what you get for the performance. But no.
She was performing. Good luck, year 9.
Say my Grammy, okay? It's just something along those lines.
Oh man.
But no, it was like I was really preparing with my vows to really express how I felt because, like I said, we had been through a lot leading up to the wedding. It was a lot, like I discussed, of times where it was like questioning if we was going to even make it to this day, right? And so making it to that day, it meant that much more to be able to make it there and to really say those vows and to be married. So I think that's where it really came from. It was just like I was just overwhelmed with the joy of we're here, you know, because I had no idea if we were going to make it.
Yeah. Speaking of not having any idea how we were going to make it, we felt that in our marriage.
Yeah.
as well. Not even just leading up to that with the challenges we face, but like once the high of the wedding wore off, you realize you're really in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Now. And we realized early on, as we talked about in a lot of our episodes, that while we did a lot of preparation for the wedding, we didn't do a lot of preparation for the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of conflicts that we did not resolve.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of wounds that weren't healed.
Yeah.
So we got off to a rocky start. What would you say was the biggest thing that you did or the biggest thing that you had to change about yourself that allowed us to get to where we're at, to get to year 8?
I think the biggest thing that I had to change, honestly, I feel like I had to let go of a certain version of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is from just upbringing, whether it was what I seen in my household, even in past relationships, it made me, in a sense, hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
It made me defensive. It made me sometimes angry, aggressive, right? I feel like all of those things that had built me up to feel like I had to, in a sense, protect myself and protect my heart, I realized I didn't have to do that with you. And so I had to change that completely because it was a defense mechanism. But once I realized, like, I'm not defending myself against this man. Like, he genuinely loves me.
Yeah.
He's there for me. He's shown that. He supports me. He encourages me. I don't have to defend myself from him. I can disarm myself.
Right.
Once I was able to do that and change that version of myself and really improve and work on a better version of myself and who I feel like was destined to be, a lot changed.
Yeah. I think for me, it was I held the position, but I wasn't the person.
What you mean by that?
I was your husband, but I wasn't a husband.
Mm-hmm.
I held the position of being a husband, but I didn't know how to be a husband.
Mm-hmm.
So it took for me to take the time to step back and say, you know what? I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I love Asha. I'm committed to her. But if I don't make the necessary changes in my life and understand what a husband's role is and what the responsibility of a husband is, then this marriage ain't gonna last.
Yeah.
And that's why you would see me in the office. I'm watching videos, I'm studying, I'm reading books. I'm like, I need to figure out, because if I don't know how to do this, it can't be done.
Yeah.
If I'm just trying to do it the way that I think it's supposed to be done, then our marriage is not going to be what a marriage is intended to be. So anytime that I think that you have to admit that you took on a role prematurely, it's hard to do. Because nobody wants to feel inadequate.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to feel like they have what it takes in order to succeed in the role that they're in. But a lot of us aren't, because we're so focused on the role instead of becoming the person who's deserving of the role. So I think that listening to you, which I think as men sometimes we have a hard time doing, and understanding that you're telling me certain things not because you're trying to degrade me, but because you want to be me to be the best version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're trusting me with your life.
Yeah.
And when I realized that the things that you were sharing with me is not to put me down, but to help lift me up so that I can help lift our family up, I was like, okay, let me do this work so that we're not like no shade at them, but our marriage is not like how our parents' marriage was.
Mm-hmm.
Our marriage is not how so many other marriages are that don't last that long. Right. As you talked about this being year 8, like somebody wrote, oh, you only been married 8 years? Oh, get back to me in 8 more years. And it's like, what are you talking about, man? Average marriage lasts 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
We made it to year 8. I'm going to celebrate that. I don't care how long you've been married, because the length of your marriage doesn't determine the quality of your marriage. You can be married 25 years and y'all stop being married in year 10.
Right.
Y'all stop being married in year 5. You trying to stick it out for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to make it look good for everybody else. We're trying to have a solid relationship, period.
Right.
A solid marriage, period. So we're going to celebrate every year as if we just reached this huge milestone, because I think that it's going to give us the motivation to continue to push forward and remember why we started this journey in the first place.
Yeah. Well, speaking on get back into 8 years,
Yeah.
what do you see for us in the next year, 2 years, 8 years from now?
To be honest, I haven't looked 8 years ahead. And that's just me, like, trying to break my habit of always trying to focus on the future.
Mm.
But for me, it's just, I had a talk with myself the other day. And yes, I talked to myself. Is that I just want to worry about today and do everything I can do today in order to set myself up for success tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And if I continue to make those decisions, especially in our marriage, then we'll get to that 1 year. Then we'll get to 2 years. Then we'll get to 8 years. But I need to focus on being fully present today and becoming the best version of myself, the best husband, the best father that I can be, so that I make every day count, because that's what life is really all about. The quality of your life or the quality of your marriage is dependent on the quality of your decisions that you make every single day. Mm-hmm. So I just want us to continue to do what we've been doing, not what we were doing in the beginning. The beginning will have us in divorce. But what we've been doing these past couple of years, prioritizing each other, prioritizing our marriage, and just really being the example for our girls.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say that I did look to the next year, 2 years, 3 years. But no, I think honestly, I just want to continue to grow the way that we've been growing, to continue to thrive in our relationship, to thrive in our marriage, to have a beautiful family, maybe add a couple more babies, you know.
We about to turn 35.
Listen,
in like 6 weeks, and you talk about a couple more.
Who was it? Sarah? Did she have a baby late?
Who's Sarah?
In the Bible? Mm-hmm. Was it Sarah?
We ain't supposed to live past 120 years no more. So
listen. If it's God's will, couple more babies. But no, I just want to continue to grow, continue to just live life the way that we've been living life, to continue to do what we're doing here, because not only is this helping our relationship, but it's impacting the world. It's going to, in my eyes, be our legacy and our footprints on this earth, to say, you know what, we did the work, right? We
hear that
were
job
here,
well done at the end of the day.
Yeah, we were here to really do the work and do God's work, and to really just impact other lives, not just our lives, because it's not just about us as individuals. So that's really what I look forward to the most, is just to live life with you, the best possible life that we can live, and live each day to our fullest potential. So yeah,
the most purposeful life together.
Yeah,
because every day won't feel like the best day. We've learned that over these 8 years. Every day you're not going to wake up and just be like, I'm so happy to be married to this person. I'm so happy to spend the rest of my life with this person. Mm-hmm. There are going to be some challenging days.
Lord knows.
But yeah, all right. But if you're purposeful in your walk, then you be willing to work through those tough days, or the days that you may be questioning things. If you have the energy, if you have the patience in order to overcome the challenges. So that's what I'm looking forward to, making every day purposeful. So like you said, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we'll get that job well done, that y'all did what y'all was supposed to do. Not only for your own marriage, but y'all taught other people how to have a healthy, successful, and long-lasting relationship. So
Yes. So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And until next time, keep it real.
yes, sir.